What is up, YouTube? It's the Duel Factory back at it again with another deck profile. This time it's going to be a more for fun deck profile, and the title is a little deceiving, but it is a hat profile. Instead of hands, we're playing heroes, and we're still playing artifacts and Traptrix. So, that being said, I'll get on to the deck profile. So, to start off, we play 3 copies of Shadow Mist. This is your best hero. He searches all your mass change quick play spells, and he searches all your heroes. So, he's a staple 3 of. And then we also play 3 copies of Elemental Hero Bubbleman. This is the second best hero. A lot of people only play 2 because 3 kind of clogs. However, in my experience, like, out of all the heroes you want to search, this is honestly the only hero that you want to search, and the access to acid's really important, and generic rank 4s are really good in the game. So, that's why we play 3 Bubblemen. And then, to complement it, we play the 2 Monks. No Goblinberg and no 10 Goldfish, because honestly, I really don't like those cards. Like, if this is like a pure hero deck, I might play them. But in terms of it, like, Goblinberg to me was only good when you had multiple Rotas, and it's only really good if you summon a Monk or a Shadow Mist off of it. So, we're just playing the 2 Monks, and that's it for the hero part. For the second abbreviation 8, the artifacts, we have 2 Scythe. Being able to shut down the opponent's extra deck's really good. It was a lot better last format, but now since like the triangle format's now like BA, Monarch, and Cosmo, to me like the Artifact engine's only really good against PK, Fire, or Burning Abyss, or whatever variant they're playing. So I wouldn't take this to a competitive event, but for fun, I like playing this deck for fun. So 2 Scythe, 1 Moralltach because I'm only allowed to play 1, and then 1 Beagalltach because I do play Ignition. But opening multiples of Beagalltach I don't think is very good, so we only play the 1. And then for the T abbreviation, we just play 3 Traptrix Myrmeleo. This is one of my favorite cards in the game, just because I like the entire concept of it. Plus, with Call of the Haunted and the Summoner Monk, it's also an out to domain, so that's what an interesting niche that it has, and it does generate a +1. However, since Rafflesia's out, it's not really that great of a card anymore, because like you can activate your traps from the deck for 2 level 4 monsters. But we still play her. Like I said, it's a fun deck, and this is all theory at this point, so that's that. And that's all the monsters. On to the spells. You play 3 copies of A Hero Lives. Being able to summon your Shadow Mist straight out of your deck and get in the search is really good. 3 copies of Mass Change, because being able to go in the Dark Claw is really good, and Acid's a really good card as well. We still play 3 copies of Instant Fusion. I still play 2 targets for it. I play the 1 Norden, because we're only allowed 1, and opening that, and this card, Dark Claw, is a huge combo. And then we also play Panzer Dragon to go with the artifacts because it's level 5 and it's light, so it gives me access to Pleiades. And the best combo that Heroes ever had was Durendal Darklaw, and this deck or variation of the deck can still do it. So that's why we play that. The 1 copy of Rhoda, no copies of E-Call, just because like you're playing a variant of heroes, you're not playing like pure heroes. So like the E-Calls are better if you play like Goblinbergs and 10 Goldfish, which in this deck we do not. So the 1 Rhoda is just fine, and Shadow Mist acts as a Rhoda to your Bubbleman. 2 copies of Artifact Ignition to go with the Beagalltach, more or less. Plus it's also an out the domain. And then we play the 1 copy of Soul Charge, because you're playing all the artifacts and stuff like that, so you can make big Soul Charge plays. But you kind of have to be careful with this deck, because you are playing the Hero Lives and stuff like that, so you have to be wary. So sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad. On to the traps, we play 3 Artifact Sanctum. This is one of the best trap cards ever printed. Being able to summon an artifact out of your deck is really good. When it's destroyed, it pops a card. I mean, this card is... If it wasn't for the fact Moralltach was at 1, this card would be phenomenal. But, unfortunately, is at 1. Since we're playing Heroes, Artifacts, and Traptrix, we do play 3 copies of Call of the Haunted. All the monsters, other than Bubbleman, have effects that can be activated when they're special summoned out of the graveyard. Artifacts during your opponent's player's turn. Bringing back Shadow Mist adds a quick play change spell. You have the Traptrix at pop spell and trap cards, which makes Domain essentially an out to... Well, not Domain, but it's Call the Haunted out to Domain. I mean, it's just a phenomenal card in the deck. The 2 targets we use to search for Myrmeleo is we play Bottomess and Time Space. These are better against most of the decks. And just because Time Space spins Cosmo Spaceships back, so you don't have to worry about them getting their effects, and then Bottomless is generically good against almost every deck, other than, like, the only deck it has a real huge problem against is Burning Abyss when they summon, like, Dante's, but it can still hit Beatrice, so it forces him to get rid of it. And then the last 4 traps you play are just 4 copies of Jesus, so the 3 Solemn Strike and the 1 Warning. these are the best trap cards in the game. You have to play them if you're playing any deck that plays traps or anything like that. So we play those. And then that is the main deck. It is 40 onto the extra deck. For the Mass Hero Fusions, we play one Anki. He's the best, he's not the best, but he's the biggest bodied Mass Hero we can go into. So we play one of him, and when he destroys monster senses at the graveyard, he starts to send a quick play chain spell, which is really good because like Draco Pals got savaged on the previous ban list, so his effect got a lot better. 2 copies of Darklaw. I'm still looking for ultis, but for now these will have to do. But Macrocosmos on your opponent's side of the field is just really good, and to be able to rip free cards out of your opponent's hand is still very good. However, this card's very susceptible to Solemn Strike when you activate that effect, so you have to kind of be careful. 1 copy of Mass Hero Acid, being able to nuke all your opponent's back row and decreasing everything by 300 is big, especially against Cosmo. The 1 copy of Norden, and the 1 copy of Panzer Dragon. And those are my instant fusion targets. On to the XYZ. So the rank 4s, we play 1 Castel, it's the best generic 4. 1 copy of Dweller. Being able to shut off the graveyard for 2 level 4s is really good, plus it gives, with Bubbleman, it gets a 500 boost. I do play the 1 copy of Giant Hands. This on Darklaw is actually really good, and it's a good generic 4 for now. For this deck, it's a lot better in this deck. Some other decks I wouldn't play it, but this deck I definitely will. Want Daigusto Emeral to shuffle back all my stuff when I run out of targets. Like for example, sometimes I'll draw a Hero Liz with no Shadow Mist in deck, and that's really sad. And this card's a really good generic rank 4. I do play the 1 Rafflesia. I don't know how I feel about this card since I'm playing the Myrmeleos, but I still do play it because there's going to be times that you don't open Myrmeleo, but you have access to this card. And with Twin Twister being a huge, widely played card, I feel this card's is better because you get the benefit of having a trap without actually setting it. But at the same time, this is susceptible to Dark Hole, Raigeki, all those fun little things. But I don't know. Further testing, we'll have to see if I keep this card in or not. I play Utopia and Utopia the Lightning. I was playing Utopia Prime to finish out the package because it's actually really good in this deck. However, I thought it was more important to make room for the rank 5s than to play the 3rd Utopia target. But right now, like I said, just playing these 2, it's working out fairly well. And then for the level 5s, Durendal and Pleiades. Pleiades, if it wasn't the fact it took 2 level 5 lights, this would be the best generic rank 5. However, that being said, Durendal Darklaw is the best combo this deck has ever come out with, and being able to play it is really good because essentially you get a rip. Depending on what you do, you can banish 2 cards out of your opponent's hands, you can disrupt all sorts of plays, and then Durendal just gives you an extra bit of cushion to make sure that your Darklaw stays on board. But that is it for my Hat deck profile. Always remember to like, comment, subscribe, and then for the next decks that I'm going to bring you, I think I'm going to bring you a Fire King deck profile since Fire King's Island's coming out, so I'm going to bring you one that you can play right now without Fire King's Island, which I think Fire King's actually is honestly pretty good right now that I was thinking about because the spell card's really good. And then I have a bunch of other decks in here that I was going to bring you. I might bring you an update version of my Myrmel deck because it has gone through quite a few changes since I showed it to you last. For those of you who are upset about the Dark Hero deck profile or Destiny Hero profile, I do... to make it up to you, if I can find the fusion gates and the chain materials, I will bring you a version of Destiny End Dragoon OTK, which is a deck that is a lot of fun. But yeah, guys, I was remembering to like, comment, subscribe. Later.